look off to the right now, and you look forward a little bit through the trees, we're gonna make a big old turn here to the right. This area right here is a good look at it. Calico Cut. Since we have such a bright sun today with no clouds, it's kind of washed out. But it's fortunate enough to have the sun with just a little overcast. You can see all the different colors in this, call it a cut. Actually, it's no longer a cut because it's been daylighted to one side. We have slowed down here. It's really a matter of dollars, not safety. But as we go through here, the roadbed is laid on the volcanic breccia that you see here. And we, even in our slightly accelerated speed going through there, your tires always move. They're laid to move. That's why you have the ballast and the rock around them. But you don't want to move too much. You get excessive wear. So that's why we go through so slow through here. The other interesting thing, other than the colors in this cut, it's an interesting cut because this cut you can see that where volcanic breccia takes the consistency all the way from beach sand almost to what appears to be solid rock. Now this area called Calico Cut shows the result of faulting and hydrothermal activity. If you look behind you now, a little bit, to the left, see the volcanic action. You see some spires up there, there in the middle. So this is all volcanic action through here. We basically are, that's because we're up a side canyon when that happens. This particular area of the railroad is known as Phantom Curve. As you look to the right, you can see the spires, the different spires in the distance are just across there. And this got the name Phantom Curve because in the very early days of the railroad, especially when they only had that little dim oil lamp, whenever the trains would come through here at night, they'd get all different kinds of shadows every time they came through and dancing off the walls. So they nicknamed it Phantom Curve. And these are basically volcanic spires. What has happened where you see these spires, both large and small, is that the material on the cap, the volcanic cap on the top of the spires, that still remains. And where the material that was originally around the spire has eroded away because the cap was thin. So when the cap was penetrated, the material under it, so it got the name rock because of it was so sturdy, I guess you might say, that those supports were required. The locomotive is in the tunnel and we'll be going in. You can see this material through which this tunnel is drilled. This tunnel is 342 feet long. Okay, look right. In World War II, when they got ready to develop the field, the vehicles, trucks, were not near as large as they are today. They couldn't carry the necessary equipment that was required to develop the field. It had to go by rail. So, that meant this was the rail. And that's why the siding was extended and why the trains were so long at that time. Much of the narrow gauge in Colorado had already been abandoned by that time. generally where we're headed. The mountain range is the San Luis Cristo range of the Rocky Mountains. Blood of Christ is the translation. Just on the other side of that range is the eastern side of the range is the eastern slopes of the Rocky Mountains. And of course east of that is the Great Plains. Again, accelerating. And that whistle is an acknowledgement by the engineer that he's got the signal from the rear brakeman that the rear of the train is cleared the slow order area. All of our whistle signals have a meaning. The engineer or fireman rarely blow a whistle just to be blowing it.
Oh, look at the water.
Again, the roads you see today, like I said, are predominantly after World War II. Most of these roads are passable by high clearance vehicles, for sure four-wheel drive. And most of them are BLM or National Forest Service roads, which means they're open to the public. So here's the little structure that's part of the old boxcar that we use as a tool shed right there on the right. And here's the coal bunker. Use that coal to heat and cook with. Stored in there. And of course here is your section foreman's home. And here we are at the section crew's bunkhouse. And here comes the little station. Of course, we also had a siding here at Sublette. Most of the where these section crews were stationed did have siding. For those of you unfamiliar railroading, this is a single track railroad, but we had trains running in both directions. you didn't ride straight up the hill. You rode from side to side going up the hill, making big figure S's. So again, this is known as the whiplash. And just cut straight down and remove that overburden that you see sloping down, you would see more of what you see above it. So when Magothi's was active, it was active for many, many, many years. So this ledge formed out here, and it'll look flat to you now, but it's not very flat really. There's a lot of mesas here. You can think it was almost all flat more or less at one time. Well, the mesas were formed because where the volcanic flows were not as thick, the material wore away, leaving you to decline. So that's what leads to all these crossings. This is a 64-mile trip from Cumbres and Antonito by rail. Probably not much more than 25 as the crow flies, if that far. So we'll zigzag in and out of Colorado, New Mexico a few times yet before we get to Antonito. State line designation is by signs. They're on the left side of the train, almost always. So if you didn't like Colorado, we'll go into New Mexico for a while. Oh, you got it. That's it. Right up there, behind the tree now, that little tree is another white sign. If you don't like New Mexico, we'll try Colorado. Now we're on the lower level of the whiplash, and if you look off the left side of the train, you can see the mid-level, and you can look a little higher, and you can see where we were just a little while ago. We will be passing it on the right. Just as we go around the curve, you may have a little bit better picture as you look back off the left side of the train. Here it comes. Also, as you're looking to the right now, you can clearly see that Mount San Antonio does stand out there all by itself. right side of the train. The bases are very, very distinct. We're go down the side of this one. This particular one is called Gravity Hill. And if you stand either right or left, if you look forward at one point and then follow the rail all the way back to the rear of this coach, you'll see the angle. See the angle within the coach.
Dude.